Never thought a gas station could feel haunted. Not haunted in the ghost sense. No chains, no whispers, no cold spots. Just empty. Too empty. I started the night shift at Miller's Gas off Route 19 2 months ago. Quiet place, open 24/7, 2 pumps, a dusty little store. The kind of spot people only stop at if they're desperate or lost. At first it was easy money. I stocked shelves, cleaned coffee pots, and scrolled through my phone between customers. The cameras showed 4 feeds: the lot, the back door, the aisles, and the office. The old monitor flickered sometimes, but the owner said that was normal. It wasn't. The first weird thing happened a week ago. Around 2:30 a.m., a car pulled up, an old sedan, headlights off. I waited for someone to come inside, but no one did. It just sat there for a few minutes, then drove off. I checked the footage later. The cameras never showed it. Just me, staring at an empty parking lot like an idiot. I told myself the system glitched. But every night after that, I felt it. The quiet wasn't empty anymore. It was watching. Then last night happened. It was raining hard, the kind of rain that turns reflections into ghosts. I was refilling the cooler when I heard the door chime, that familiar ding. I stood up, grabbed the counter. No one. The door was shut, locked from the inside. I checked the cameras and froze. On the parking lot feed, a man stood just outside the glass, face turned toward the door, except there was no one there in real life. I looked up from the monitor, empty, looked back down. He was closer. The screen flickered, then went black. I swear I heard someone breathing on the other side of the glass. I don't know what made me do it, but I grabbed the flashlight from under the counter and stepped outside. The rain had slowed to a mist, the air heavy and wet. The fluorescent lights hummed above me, throwing a pale glow over the puddles. Nothing, just the empty road and the whisper of rain. But then, footprints. Bar ones. They started at the door and trailed off toward the pumps. I followed them slowly, beam trembling in my hand. They were spaced weirdly, like the person had been dragging one foot, toes scraping against the wet concrete. Halfway to the pumps, I noticed something else. A smear on the glass window by the door, from the inside. I hadn't seen it before I left. I turned back toward the building and froze. The door was open, just an inch, but it had been locked. I ran back, heart pounding, and pushed it shut, twisting the bolt hard. The smell hit me before I even reached the counter. Metallic, wet. Behind the counter, the cooler door stood open and dripping. A dark red line traced down from the handle to the floor. I thought it was soda at first. Then I saw what was on the floor mat, a small pile of soaked clothes. My flashlight flickered as I crouched. They weren't mine. They looked old, torn, the kind of fabric that hasn't been worn in years. And on top of them, a pair of keys. They had the Miller's Gas tag on them. That's when the security monitor hissed to life again. Just static. Then the parking lot camera came back. He was standing under the streetlight. Same man, same motionless stare. His head tilted a little, like he was listening. I don't know why, but I whispered, "Who are you?" He raised his hand and pointed at the camera. Not at the store, at me. The screen went black again. I didn't sleep when my shift ended. I sat in my car until sunrise, keys shaking in my hand. This morning, I tried to tell the owner. He just looked at me for a long time, then said quietly, "You saw him too, didn't you?" He didn't explain, just handed me a new set of keys and told me not to work nights anymore. But tonight I can't stop thinking. Whose clothes were those behind the counter? And if those keys were already inside, who's using mine now? I couldn't stay away. 3 nights later, I went back. The owner had locked up early that day, said the wiring was being checked. But when I drove by around 2 a.m., the lights were on, bright, like someone was inside. I should have kept driving. I didn't. The door opened without resistance. No chime, no sound at all. The shelves were half empty, the hum of the fridge louder than usual. I called out, "Mr. Miller?" Nothing. I stepped behind the counter and froze. The cameras were on again. 4 screens. Only one was moving. The parking lot feed showed a man leaning against the pump. Same torn jacket, same blank face. But this time, I could see him breathing. Fog puffed out in slow, steady clouds. Then on the back door camera, a flicker. Movement. I turned. The metal door was open an inch. I grabbed the flashlight, forced myself forward. Rain dripped from the awning, pooling near my shoes. The gravel beyond the door looked freshly disturbed, a small mound, half collapsed. And in that mound, sticking out like a forgotten relic, was a plastic name tag. Brett, night shift. I stumbled back, the beam shaking. Brett was the guy who had worked before me, the one who quit suddenly. Miller never said why. When I looked back at the monitor, the man by the pump was gone. But in the office feed, movement again. Someone was inside with me. The reflection on the glass counter caught it first, a pale shape behind my shoulder. I turned, nothing. Then the whisper came. Low, hoarse, right next to my ear. You shouldn't have come back. Every screen on the monitor flared white, blinding me for a moment. When they cleared, there was only one feed left, the inside of the store. And on that feed I was standing perfectly still. But I wasn't moving in real life. The version of me on the monitor tilted its head, slowly, then walked out of frame toward the back door. The power cut out. I don't remember leaving. The cops said they found me parked half a mile away, door open, engine still running. I told them about the cameras, about the man, about Brett. They didn't find a grave behind the store, just disturbed gravel and broken glass, like something had been dragged away. Mr. Miller sold the place last week. New sign, new owner, same old neon lights. But last night I passed by again, couldn't help myself. And through the rain I saw it. The faint glow of the monitors through the office window. 4 screens, and on one of them, someone standing behind the counter, wearing my jacket. You made it to the end, but the story isn't over. Subscribe while you still can.